Should you wait for the rates to drop or should you buy a house today? Well, in this video, I'm going to deep dive into this burning question that I get from all my buyers. Let's have a look. Let's go. So you've been thinking about buying a house and interest rate is the thing that has been stopping you, and you've been having nightmares because you don't want that high interest rate, especially when a couple of years ago the rates were down in 2s and 3s. And with the way the market is right now, you've been just waiting for the market to shift and change. Well, in this video, I'm going to go a lot more into it about interest rate. I'm going to discuss some specific numbers and I'm going to show you the math behind it, that why buying something right now with the way the market is might be a better choice than for you to wait. So let's begin. Hello and welcome to Orlando Living with D. My name is D. I'm a real estate agent for over 20 plus years and I've helped over hundreds of families looking to buy a house. And the one question that I've mentioned that I get all the time is people that are just sitting on the edge looking to buy. If you've been following my YouTube journey about buying a house either on this specific channel or on Orlando Home Show, I've always given you up-to-date information. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why it may make sense for you to buy now, because buyers that are taking advantage in 2025 with the builders incentives that are currently available, it may be better than to wait for the market to shift, because the rates will shift. They go up, they go down, but what really matters is the math behind it. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 such examples. I'm going to show you the exact numbers so you can get the clarity and make the decision of, hey, should I buy the house now or should I just wait it out? So with the social media being buzz about everything that is happening, there's just so much noise. And yes, not all of it is correct, but you know, it's just one of those things. Who do you listen to? But at the end of the day, math doesn't lie. And this is why I decided to create this video, because I'm going to do the math for you so you can follow along. Now, I know math may or may not be your strongest hold, but at the end of the day, what really matters is that in this market, yes, the rates are going to change, but what's changing faster right now in this market is the builder's incentive. So when you do the math, it may just make sense for you to buy something now than to wait, because with the waiting, you just don't know when that will happen. And when that happens, the biggest disadvantage would be all the people like yourself just sitting on the fence waiting are going to jump, and it's going to change the whole dynamics of the market as we see it today. Because right now, after a very, very long time, this has been a great buyer's market. So is waiting going to be right for you? So before I get into the math of the rates and the incentives and do a comparison for you, let's talk about the affordability. At the time of the shoot, the average median price in Florida is about $408,000. Now, I'm not talking Central Florida as such, I'm talking in general, because the affordability has kind of gone up in the last couple of years, where everything kind of went up, because we all know what happened during the COVID and what COVID did with the prices and the construction and the labor shortage and the material shortage. So I want to talk numbers, because the bottom line is this, that the market is not going to crash. Have you tried to get a loan from the bank now? Well, unless you're squeaky clean and then some, it is very, very difficult to get any money from the bank. And you know, the reality is that you don't need the market to crash. You just need the math to make sense. And if the math is mathing, then you make the decision, should I continue to pay the rent and pay somebody else's mortgage, or should I get my own house and pay my mortgage? Before I get into the numbers, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a pen and a paper. And the reason I want you to do that is because this is something that I have done several times with my clients to basically show them what is possible in terms of the numbers. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the finances, It's the numbers. Does the numbers make sense for me to continue renting, or should I just buy something in the current market when you know that you are in the market, but the biggest thing has been interest rate? So get a pen and paper and let's talk about numbers. Now, for the purpose of making it simple, I'm going to discuss 3 scenarios. I'm going to talk about the base price, the interest rate, and the loan amount. And then I'm going to talk about the incentives, and I'll do the math with you slowly so you can follow along. And if you have specific questions, you can give me a call and you can make an appointment, or you can just put it in the comment below and I'll be happy to give you a call and walk you through the whole process, because this is something that is super important. And if this is something important for you, then follow along. So let's talk about price point number 1. Let's just say the price point for this house is $400,000 and you put 10% down. So 10% on a $400,000 equates to about $40,000. Your loan amount is about $360,000. At the time of the shoot, the rates are in higher fives. So let's just say that the rate that you get today is 5.75. So when you look at the principal and interest payment for 5.75 on a loan amount of $360,000, you're looking at a payment of about $2,100 a month. Now, with builder's incentive, this is how it works. So let's say the builder gives you an incentive for 4.99% fixed. So they will buy the rate down to 4.99%. So with that rate, your principal and interest is going to be about $1,930 a month. That saves you about $170 every single month. You multiply that by 12 and that gives you $2,040. So $2,040 every single year you are going to save on the buy down. You multiply that by 30 years. How much is that? So if I just do a simple math myself, because I want to have you follow along with the math. So let's just say you're saving $170, like I mentioned, times 12. Comes up to $2,040. You take that and you multiply by 30 years. That saves you $61,200 over the course of the loan that you would not have to pay. So that is one of the math. Now let's talk about some builders that are actually doing what is called ultra buy down. What it means is that you get 1.99% fixed for the first year, 2.99 for second year, and then 3.99 for third, and then it's fixed for 4.99. So when you do the math on that, so when you look at year 1 at 1.99% rate, you're going to be paying about $1,329 a month for very first year. With the same math at 2.99, you're going to be paying about $1,516 a month for second year. When it comes to third year, you're paying about $1,717. So year 3 at 3.99, and then after that at 4.99, you'll be fixed at $1,930. Now, please keep in mind, it doesn't include your taxes, HOA, CDD, or insurance. We are just talking about principal and interest. When you do the math, in the first 3 years alone, you're going to end up saving about $14,757. So this is the amount of money you're going to save. And with builders on inventory home, you're going to be able to get all your closing costs paid, plus washer, dryer, refrigerator. I have been doing these videos for a very long time. If you haven't watched my channel, Orlando Home Show, please go ahead and do so, because I always tell people, if you're looking for brand new homes, check that channel, because I've done over 700 plus videos and the incentives are absolutely insane. So moving along to the next price point of $500,000. So let's talk about price point number 2, where your purchase price on the home is about $500,000. We are going to use the same parameters. So what it means is you're putting 10% down. So 10% of $500,000 is $50,000. Your loan amount is going to be $450,000 at 5.75% interest rate. And your payment for principal and interest is about $26.26 a month. Now let's say the builder is offering you a buy down for all 30 years. So it's not a 2-1 buy down, it's a buy down for all 30 years, and they're buying it down to 4.99% fixed for 30 years. Your payment is going to be $2,413 a month. So thereby you are going to save, if you take $26.26 at 5.75 minus $2,413, you're going to save $213 a month on your payment, and times 12, you're going to save about $2,556 every single year. And then when you multiply that by 30, that comes up to $76,680 in savings. Now, let's just say that this builder gives you an ultra buy down, which is something that I've seen a lot of builders do that. And let's just say they are buying it down to 1.99% fixed for first year, 2.99 for second, 3.99 for third, and then 4.99 fixed for the rest of the loan period. So at 1.99%, your payment for the very first year with principal and interest is going to be $1,661 a month. And then when you look at the number for second year at 2.99, it's going to be $1,895 a month. And then when we follow the same thing for year 3 at 3.99, you're at $2,146, and at 4.99 fixed for the rest of the period is $2,413. So when you do the math for all the savings, and don't worry, I'm going to put this into a synopsis towards the end of the video. I'm going to show you the exact numbers so you can follow along. It will save you just for the 3-year time period, not to mention the rest of the 26 plus years that you're going to save at 4.99% rate as compared to 5.75. You're going to save $18,447 in the first 3 years. Now you tell me if the rates changes, what's going to happen is a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines are going to come, because that's exactly what happened during COVID. The rates went down, people went crazy, they were buying properties sight unseen, $100,000 more than asking, and builders were not able to cope up. So this is your opportunity right now to be able to buy a good house and negotiate on the price and the terms to get the best possible price, because this market is not going to stay forever. Now let me talk about, a little bit more expensive homes so you can see how much you save. So let's talk about the price point number 3. Let's say you're buying a house that is $700,000 and you're putting 10% down at 5.75 fixed for the life of the loan, which is 30-year loan. So when we do the numbers on a $700,000 home, your loan amount is going to be $630,000. At 5.75% interest rate, you're looking at $36.76 a month in your payment. So let's just say the same builder is buying the interest rate down to 4.99%. So your principal and interest payment for $630,000 loan at 4.99% is going to be $3378.13. So just to round off numbers, let's just say it's $3378 as compared to $3676. So $3676 minus $3378, you have a savings of $298 every single month. You multiply that by 12, you are saving almost $3576 every single year that you have that rate buy down. Now let's just say that the same builder gives you the ultra buy down, which is very common in current market. I'm not sure how long is that going to be, but I'm seeing a lot of builders are doing what is called an ultra buy down. And what they do is they say, for the first year, we will have your rate at 1.99%. For the second year, we're going to have it at 2.99. For the third year, 3.99. And for the fourth year, fixed 4.99 for the life of the loan. So we already did the numbers at 4.99, but the difference in your payment, so the first year at 1.99, your payment for principal and interest is going to be $2325.45. For the first year, you're going to save over $1,000. You're going to save about $1,053.15 times 12 That's $12,637.50 for the whole year, for the first year. For the second year at 2.99% rate, your payment is going to be about $2652.71. And for third year at 3.99, your payment is going to be $3,004.09. So when you look at this and when you do the math, so collectively, you're going to end up saving about $25,831.08. So the first year, your saving is going to be $12,637.56 at 1.99. For the second year, it's going to be $8,705.04. Third year, $4,488.48. When you combine all those together, you're saving about $25,831.08. So you tell me, where are you going to get those incentives? And on top of that, the builder is going to probably pay for most of your closing costs, and they're going to give you washer, dryer, refrigerator, blind. I recently helped a client of mine in St. Cloud with one of the builders, and they gave them 6% towards closing costs. That allowed him to buy the rate down and then have all the closing costs and prepaid. So I'm seeing this happen all the time, and I cannot stress more. If you've been thinking about buying a house and you're just waiting for the market to shift, the question that you really need to ask yourself is, can I afford today's payment? And what works better for me and my family? And that is something that is super important, because you are going to be paying a mortgage one way or the other. If it's not yours, you'll be ending up paying for your landlord. So it might as well be your mortgage that you pay for. Now, let's just say when we put everything together on a $400,000 home, you are saving about $14,757 on top of the savings that you are going to save on the interest rate buy down from 4.75 to 4.99. You're also going to save about $18,447 in the first 3 years on a $500,000 property. And for a $700,000 home with 10% down, you're saving about $25,826. In almost every community that I'm doing, there are inventory home that is available. If you haven't watched my show, Orlando Home Show, for brand new builder models, please go ahead and do so, because I discuss all this a lot more in detail about what the builder is doing. And think about this, guys. If they have an inventory home that is already sitting on the market, builder is paying for insurance, they have liability, they're paying for utilities, they're paying, and they probably have a loan on that property. They want to get rid of it as soon as possible, because builder's job is to build a house and move on. If you are going to build a house, they already own the dirt. They're not going to give you a lot of incentives on the dirt. So what does this all mean? Well, this means that the buyer just have to come with the down payment. Everything else is taken care, including the buy downs, the closing cost, the appliances, everything else. Look at the summary table. It precisely tells you how much money are you going to save every single year, depending upon what kind of house you're doing. If you're doing a $400,000 house or a $500,000 house or a $700,000 house, you see how much you save in all the money. This is why I've been saying that buying now may be the best option before everything changes. So what happens when the rates drop? Well, two things will happen. Well, the buyer demand is going to spike up, because all the people that are waiting on the sidelines for the rates to drop, because they're timing the market, they're going to come out of the woodwork, and that's going to make the inventory shrink. Because right now there's a lot of inventory in pretty much most of the suburban areas. There is, depending upon the areas that you go into, almost every builder and almost in every community has some surplus of homes, and they are willing to do the deals. I have helped several people get great deal, and I always tell them, if you can buy something today, and if it crosses off all the bells and whistles that you are looking for, then buy now instead of building, because it's going to change. Now, I have clients that are still trying to time the market. When I first got started into this business in the 2006 and 7 crash, and guess what? They're still timing the market. If you go back and check out my videos on Orlando Home Show, when the COVID and everything was happening, I was telling people to come down. And as a matter of fact, I personally built my own house during the COVID time frame. And by the time the builder was done with my house, because I built it from scratch, there was not a surplus. So what they were selling my house for with the base price and upgrades, that's what the new base price was, whereas I was able to get a lower base price plus $100,000 in upgrades. And historically, the prices are going to rise before the rates fall, not after. We have seen the bidding wars from 2020 to 2022 with the lower rate that created a massive competition. And this is something that I've been trying to tell all the people to avoid before they find themselves in that situation. So here's one more thing that I want to talk about, and this is like a little bonus thing because we heard, President Trump talk about a 50-year mortgage. Now, this is not a reality yet, but who knows, it may or may not be because affordability has gone across, like it's gone crazy, so things have gone so much that they're talking about a 50-year mortgage. Now, am I in favor of or am I not? Well, like I always said, it's all about the math. So let's just do a math on this specific number. So let's just say you have a $450,000 loan at 4.99% for 30 years. Your payment is going to be about $24,1295, so about $24,13 a month. When you do that, and if you are going to get a 50-year mortgage, then your payment on a $450,000 home at 4.99% is going to be about $2,040. By the time you look at the interest rate that you'll end up paying, so if you didn't do anything, you didn't make an extra payment, you didn't do any of those things, you were just paying, and you're going to take all 30 years to pay off your loan. On a 30-year loan at a 4.99% for a $450,000 loan amount, you're going to end up paying $418,662 in interest alone. Now, for the same loan amount for 50-year time frame, you're going to end up paying $774,270 in interest payment alone. When you look at the difference between the two, that's over $355,000 in interest that you are going to pay because you got the extended term. So when you look at the math, $2,412.95 for a 30-year loan compared to $2,040.45 for a 50-year loan. So when you look at the math, your payment did not really drop down dramatically. You're only saving about $375.50. But then what are you giving away? You are giving $355,000 in interest over the next 20 years. So is it really worth it? Well, that is something for you to decide, because this is what I always say. When you come to us, and choosing the right agent is super, super important. These are the things that we talk about because we want you to be able to get a house that you can afford. We want you to be able to get a house that makes sense. So you are not, house rich, but everything else poor. This is why the numbers are so important. And I'm not an accountant, so I want to give you a disclaimer. Talk to your accountant, because when you pay so much money in your interest, it is tax deductible. It's going to reduce your taxable income, not to mention the appreciation as you gain, because on a 50-year mortgage, yes, your payment is lower, but you're going to have very slow equity growth unless the market goes ballistic. And I don't want to kind of rely on what is going to happen. I want to base my numbers and my decision making in what is happening right now and what is going to happen in terms of things that are coming in the area. So I would be more into the areas that I want to buy, what kind of infrastructure it is. I hope my videos give you a lot of value. It gives you the clarity that you are looking for to make a decision if you should buy now or if you should buy later, because math don't lie. Numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, it is about the numbers for your better financial future. I do hope that you're going to give me that love. You're going to press that thumbs up button. And if you haven't been following me on Instagram and TikTok, please go ahead and do so. And if you haven't checked out Orlando Home Show and Orlando Home Show in Espanol, go ahead and do so. I know today's video was a little different than what I have done, but this is something that I want to do as a self-help guide for the buyers, because I get this question all the time. And I just want to send this video and say, watch this video, follow the numbers, because this will give you clarity. Until the next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.